Making a small town is really difficult because either you end up making a dense neighborhood or you end up making an old downtown. Today, I'll show you how to capture the essence of a small town that still has houses, but it feels much more open. And spending more time with some one-to-one references, you can make it even more open and make it look even more realistic. Today, we are taking inspiration from Cary, North Carolina. Cary is a small town near Raleigh and home to Epic Games. Cary is more of a small and very open and green town, and we are trying to make that with the land we have with us, and also make sure we fulfill the strong residential demand we have. The main story for this place will be that previously the highway was going through this town, but then later they made it separate and now the highway goes from the outside, kind of like the plot of the Cars movie. So first of all, you can see we have the railway already set up for us, and to start we will make the main street first. This will go parallel with railway and then we'll change its direction to add some variety, which basically forces you to make different style districts rather than just grids. After this, we will quickly set up the railway station. So we have kind of purposefully taken this much space so that we can have like our medium railway station over here. And now we can finally move on to making the layout. So just like in Cary, the small downtown has some gritty layout. So we are gonna focus on that. Have some grid layouts on downtown in the middle, and then in the rest of the area we can have a pure hybrid or organic layout like how we have in Cary. The main thing about having a look of a small town is that if you are focusing on towns which are greener, then you will most probably have road layouts that look more organic. Thus, the houses are much more far apart and you have more trees in between. We are trying to do the same, but for us, we are going for a little bit more population with our low density housing. But basically, you will have to have bigger blocks and the houses are not too big, which actually gives you more rooms for trees. The open field comes more if the houses are far apart to each other. You will definitely not be able to get maximum amount of population out of this particular town build, but having this new look of a small town beside the highway or in the outskirts of a city really adds to the depth and makes that natural transition between dense neighborhoods to empty fields or farms. The layout also doesn't need to follow anything. You can literally do however you want. Just start making some shapes that you can easily zone on. No need to worry if you get some sharp angle areas, as you will be leaving a lot of empty spaces. Breaking repetition is the most difficult task in such builds, as you don't want to end up with just grids. So changing or breaking the layout even more helps quite a lot. And slowly, just like this, we will finally finish the layout work, and you can see how this is looking. It is looking a little bit more dense to our liking, but I think this is what I wanted, lower the demands. Now we will quickly finish the entrances for the town. We have two on each side, so we will just quickly go ahead and make them, and then we can finally move on to placing some buildings. After we have finished that, we can start placing the service buildings. Services are very important, and we are gonna make sure that we don't overdo services as well. That means for the services should only be for this town and you don't waste money. So we are gonna be very thoughtful on which services we choose. So let me go ahead and place them. Now I think we can start focusing on plopping the buildings. I'll make sure this doesn't get too boring, but for the start we are going to use commercials. So just like the real life where you have all the major commercials located in the downtown area, we are also trying the same thing. We're going to make sure we don't zone too much commercial, just a little bit, and also make sure we have some on the other side as well. After placing these, we can start placing the houses. So for these, again, I will make sure that we are using American style houses, so southwest and northeast assets, and we will mainly be using 2 and 3 deep housing. We are also going to make sure that we have decent gaps between each houses so that the whole neighborhood looks spacious, open and green. Enjoy this little hyperlapse of me placing these houses, and then we'll start detailing. After we have plopped every building, you can see how this looks. Kind of looks like we have too much houses, and well, yes, but this is not that much. Just wait till we add trees and fill this, and you will see how good everything looks. So let's just do that. We are going to take this set which has spruce, oaks and leaden plane and spam them at 300% strength and without anarchy and with their mature and elderly age, and just take a look at the difference between this side and the other where we don't have the trees. This looks so much lush and like spacious, which before it wasn't looking that much. So we are going to do basically the same thing throughout and do more little detailings like the remaining part of elementary school or changing surfaces and all. So I'll go ahead and do that. You guys enjoy the hyperlapse of it, and I will meet you in the final showcase. And welcome to the final showcase of our build, and you can see how our whole small town is looking with the downtown in the middle, and it is surrounded by the suburbs, and then we've got a couple of shops that are crammed in over here. And you can take a look how this looks with all the trees and everything in between. And then we also decorated the elementary school over here with the small little backspace. We have got some pathways and then some bush detailing and then some of the garden beds and everything. Just, fill up the space really well and have a little bit of garden and backyard type of space for the elementary school. And you can kind of like clearly see how everything is looking. All the houses are spaced out, and they are quite far from each other. I wouldn't say they are as far as you see in Cary, but I think my main goal for this district was to get as much population as I can, with having the build also kind of look like what it's like in Cary. So you have like very spacious districts over here with houses that are quite separate, and then you have lots of greenery between them, so you can see how much space you have got between the houses. This is, I think, the most dense part over here. But if we go over here, you can see it is quite spaced out with at least 1 to 2 cell gap in between. And similarly over here we have got quite a lot of gap. And then I think in Cary, if you will give some more time to study and how things are built, it is basically like this, where we have a lot of space in between. We have got much bigger blocks, and then the houses are also not that big, so you have like a lot of green space in between. And this is basically how the whole Cary is built. And I think if you have a bigger space than this, or if you have a proper free space, as you know, I was currently working with a minimum amount of space and the size of the land and everything. If you have a lot of space and you are not bound with creating anything like how I have to do with the island and everything, you can really push it a lot. You have seen how to basically turn or make a small town build and what things to keep in mind. So it's really easy, and you can really pull it off. And then you can see over here, compared to what our normal suburban district style housing is looking, so you've got quite a lot of houses in between next to each other, and they are quite crammed in, and they have less space between them. And then you have got like quite a lot of medium density housing. That is basically how suburbs look in densely populated areas. But then if you come to our small town over here, you can see it is much spacious, and you have got quite a lot of space. And I think once we actually fill up the remaining part of the area around this town, you could clearly see how it just naturally flows in and just there. Because right now, as you can see, it's just this town, and then you have like this barrier of the highway, and then it's just plain land. So I want you to comment down below what you want to see or be built over here on this side of the highway, or maybe on the upper side over there in the mountains, or maybe like over here with some rolling hills that you have got. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you are new or haven't already, join my Patreon to support the channel just like how these gentlemen are doing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, happy building.